What's going on, guys? Just rolling up to the dealership right now. It actually looks like there's a car backing out at the time being, for the time being. So we're just gonna sit here, wait for them to finish doing whatever they're doing, and then pull into the workshop. Yeah, okay, he signaled me to go ahead, so I will do so. Yep, you would not believe the lengths I went to just to schedule this service. It's absolutely ridiculous. And another GLC in the workshop. So we're just gonna stop, turn it off, and we're good to go. Alright, so it's later in the night, and as you can see, we got a strobe light going on in the background. More on that later. But we got another GLB. I believe this is a 2023 model. Let me check the tag real quick. This says, okay, it's a 2022 GLB 250 4MATIC. Fourth GLB we've had as a loaner. Pretty cool car overall. And this one's actually got summer tires combined with 20-inch wheels that look phenomenal. This is the first time I've ever seen a GLB that's not an AMG with summer tires. And we've currently set it up as the haunted car for this year's Halloween. Got the strobe light going on in the back. And then up front, we got two skeletons. Unfortunately, the passenger skeleton had its hand fall off, so we got to fix that after this. But as you can see, the driver skeleton has the necklace, hands on the steering wheel. I should actually make the feet touch the pedals if possible. I don't think that's going to work. All right, whatever. I tried, and that's all that really matters. But you notice something. This one also has cooled seats, but it's missing something. Take a wild guess. Yep, that's right. This does not have powered seats. And I was told this is because of the chip shortage. So that lever right back there adjusts the seat. You pull it up, and then you push or pull the seat forward or backwards. That's how you adjust it. So that's because of the chip shortage required to, the chip required to move the seats, but obviously this unit is permanently like this, and probably all newer GLBs too, until further notice. So that's a bummer. Just goes to show you, you know, pay more for a car that has more basic features. That's today's market. Not worth it. Still a great car, but I have personally never been in a Mercedes that had manual seats. So, just to put that into perspective. It's actually kind of hard to see the skeletons in this one. That's unfortunate. Maybe if I angled the strobe light better, I can see it. But yeah, we'll have this until tomorrow. I was told that the car will be ready tomorrow afternoon. So I'll do a startup video tomorrow, probably included in the same video as this. But yeah, here's our loaner car for now. Pretty cool spec, but I must say it's a bummer not having power seats. Well, just turned on the parking lights. That amplifies the creep factor a little more. I also noticed this particular GLB has automatic high beams, so despite not having power seats, this does have a feature that makes up for it, which is, as I've said, the automatic high beams, because they turn on and off seamlessly as you drive, which is pretty cool. I like seeing Mercedes cheaper models having those automatic high beams, because to put it into perspective, when we bought our GLC, that was at a time where you could not get auto high beams just as a regular option. You had to go for the best headlights possible, which were the adaptive LEDs. We have LEDs, but they are static, meaning they don't turn with the steering wheel. So only GLCs that had adaptive LEDs, pre-facelift anyway, had automatic high beams, because on the newer, well, on the post-facelift GLC, you can get automatic high beams just as a regular option, and you don't even have to have the adaptive headlights. But, you know, that's the previous gen GLC. Now, I have yet to see a new GLC, and I'm excited to see what it looks like once it's released in North America. Because I know it's released in European countries, but as far as America goes, we have to wait. Since it's a European car, the Europeans are going to get it first. It only makes sense. I mean, I remember sitting in a previous gen C-Class now. It was a diesel in a London Mercedes dealer before the new C-Class, or before that C-Class generation was out in the US. So, pretty cool if you think about it. Okay, so it's actually the next day. The dealer got the car done. I'm on my way to the dealership right now to get the GLC. But I wanted to show you a pretty cool feature I found out about just from playing with the car for a little bit. And that is, if you hold the left paddle shifter, it will actually downshift you into the lowest gear, depending on the speed you're going at. Sorry, it's kind of hard to hold this with one hand and film at the same time, but I also wanted to show you this, so I'm going to go back into fourth. If you hold the right paddle shifter, it'll upshift you into the highest available gear for your speed. So you have to hold it for at least 1 second, I believe, but yeah, pretty cool feature. That way you're not always having to kick down to go into the lowest possible gear, or better yet, click, click, click on the paddle shifters. So that makes it nice and easy if you want to overtake someone going under the speed limit in the left lane, or better yet, on a one-lane road. So just getting gas right now, making sure we have an absolute full tank of gas before I return the car. And I just wanted to point out that if it sounded like I was a nitpicker being too harsh on this car just because it didn't have a power seat, I want to say sorry for that, because I actually take it back. This is a pretty well-spec'd GLB, considering it also has you know, automatic high beams like I talked about. There's also a pretty neat startup animation that happens whenever you start the car and it's dark outside. I might be able to show that in a moment, but that's only if it's dark, and only if it's an auto, and only if the automatic high beam setting is turned on. And also, don't quote me on this, I think this car might also have air body control. I'm not too sure. It might just be an adaptive damper suspension, because I did see a red suspension icon, which is right here, just when I had the ignition on, engine off. And I think the air body control one is yellow if something's wrong, but yeah, I don't think this actually does have air body control, just an adaptive damper suspension. So it gets firmer when you put it in sport or individual if you have that set up as sport. Whoa, no, 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 no. Didn't expect that. As I was saying, so gets firmer if you put it in sport or individual if you have that set up as sport. Gets softer if you put it in comfort or economy modes. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And obviously cooled seats like I talked about yesterday. So pretty well spec'd, I'm not gonna lie. And just to show you guys what I was talking about, I'm gonna start up the car. Pretty cool, huh? All right, off to the dealership. All right, got the car back, got a new battery installed, new negative battery terminal as well, from my personal mistake. The total bill actually ended up being only $781, but now we have the COMAND system working again. The only thing that is different is that the Sirius XM is saying preview, so we're probably going to have to reactivate that. I don't know why it got deactivated, because we never deactivated anything, but I guess when they reprogrammed the COMAND module, it reset that, so we're going to have to contact SiriusXM or something like that. But little minor setback with that, but other than that, car is in excellent health. And I'm just going home right now from a long day of work and returning the loaner to the dealer. So there you go. We are back in business, and I did all that battery work for nothing, because the bill, it was going to be way less than what I imagined. And also, here's the thing. The battery did need to be changed, but I could have avoided having to have a new battery terminal put on if I didn't mess with it. So, whoops. Alright, so it's the end of the week now. I realize I've waited a few days just to finish this video, so sorry for that. But one thing I have noticed, and I noticed this when I got the car back from the workshop, is a few seconds after you start the car, watch this. The auto start-stop function turns itself off and won't turn back on. As you can see, the light just went out, and there was no driver input whatsoever. So I pushed the button, nothing. So solved a couple problems, but created another. So I'll be going back to the dealer next Saturday, see what they can do. But if they're going to charge me for it, which they really shouldn't, because it was working just fine before I brought it to the workshop, and then when I got it back from the workshop, it was like this. But if they are going to charge me something for it, I might just leave it broken, because we're at the point where, you know, we're out of warranty, and the less money we spend on this, the better, just because we could save that money and spend it on something to replace this with. But anyway, auto start-stop is annoying anyway. That's why, you know, if they're going to charge us to fix it, might as well just leave it broken, because I always turn it off. Also, I'd like to point out that toggling through the drive modes does not work either with auto start-stop, because normally if I were to toggle between drive modes, economy, comfort, and sport, it would automatically turn this back on if I had it turned off, and then when I would go into Sport Plus, it would turn it off when it was on. So that would be economy. As you can see, the light on the button's not lighting up at all. Comfort, sport. So those are all the three drive modes in which the light on the button would turn back on, because this was built at a time where auto start stop would be on by default in those modes, but then when you toggle it into Sport Plus, it would turn off automatically. Whereas nowadays, you have to toggle it off yourself, and it will stay off regardless of what drive mode you select, which I think is better, because that way it stays off when you want it to and doesn't come back on when you don't want it to. But in this case, it's not coming on at all, because it shuts itself off a few seconds after starting the car and becomes inoperable. So back to comfort. Again, same thing. Auto start stop, completely non-functional. Alright guys, that's going to conclude this video. I'll update you guys on what happens with the car next week. So until then, peace out.